All right, guys, and we are live. So, another live. Like I said, guys, I'm going live daily because I'm under quarantine for the next 14 days and I have another 5 days left. So, somebody asked me, Nick, you don't look sick. Why are you in quarantine? I just came back from the United States. I was training the defensive tactics. I was teaching an instructor course to the instructors at police department in the United States, the Boston Police Department. And so I'm in quarantine for 2 weeks because of that. And I'm basically going live every day, taking your questions, your comments. And today I'm going to talk about something that I've gotten often many times asked this question. As well as, I see a lot of my followers ask me who are in their martial arts or fitness, Nick, how do I start my business? How do I build my business? Where do I start? How do I start? And so I decided to do this live as well. The reason why I'm doing it live, because one, I want to answer your questions. I'm going to answer the questions later on, however. Two, because I also don't want to, I don't want to make this into any sort, I'm not here to pitch anything. I'm just here to give you guys real valuable information. What I did to get to a point, I started my business 10 years ago to get to a point where I'm actually traveling, I'm doing seminars, I'm here at my studio. I had a vision 10 years ago when I decided to open my business. And 10 years later, almost, I pretty much achieved and I surpassed all my goals. So I want to share with you guys a little bit of what I did. Now, this was, there's many formulas. The only thing I could share is what I did through my experience to get to where I am. Through my personal, like I said, experience and what I've learned. What I'm giving you guys here is, fully 100% real. There's no bullshit. I'm not here to sell you an easy, fast, quick buck, shortcut. Doesn't exist. When you're an entrepreneur, you want to open a business. It takes years to build it and a lot of hard work. Now, when we're looking at building your martial arts or self-defense business, the principles apply for any business that you want to open. Each business has its challenges. We often hear, oh, this is a tough business. And it's true, the self-defense business is a tough business, but I've never met anybody who told me, well, their business is an easy business. Any business you're gonna go into, being an entrepreneur, it's gonna be challenging. There's gonna be a lot of hard work involved, a lot of time, and most people fail or quit at the first, bump in the road or the first challenge. And I did a great interview today with Yost from Level Up, and we spoke about building a business. He took 12 coaching sessions with me last year, and he had his studio, and he hadn't been online. He had no social media presence. And a year later, he's at 400,000 followers on TikToks, 1,000 on Instagram. He created programs. He's starting to teach in different locations. He expanded his gym. So I coached him through exactly what I did step by step. So I took some notes here, and I'm gonna go through a few questions that you need to ask yourself before you decide to embark on, I'm gonna call it a long journey because that's what it's supposed to be. If you're opening a business and you're thinking in a year or two you're gonna make money and you're gonna be rich, there's about 100 videos of people who could tell you you'll be a millionaire overnight or in 3 months. Go watch those videos because I'm not here to tell you that. I'm here to share with you a real story of what I did, right? 10 years ago. First, if you guys want to know, I started teaching when I was 23. So 23, I'm 43, 23. So it's 20 years I'm in the business of self-defense, teaching, and strength training. However, I started martial arts when I was 11, 12. I started training when I was 15, 16. I started working in security. My life has been this. So it only made sense that if I'm gonna pick a career and if I could turn my passion and what I love into a full-time job and be able to make a living and support my family with it, man, bonus. That's really what it's all about. And 10 years ago, guys, I say it, you know, I was driving my Subaru, $3,000 car, $2,500 with holes in it. I had a duffel bag, my rival duffel bag, my gloves. And that's how I started my business 10 years ago. I was working full-time at the hospital, working from 7 to 3:30 and building my business on the side part-time. So I always say to get from that point to the point where I am today, where I'm being paid to travel and teach seminars, and I'm teaching police, and I'm, you know, starting to get contracts in security, and as well in military, I'm getting, you know, people reaching out to me and wanting to work with me and train with me. It took 20 years of training, maybe even longer actually if I take it from the age I started, to a good 10 years of building my business. So the first question you need to ask yourself before you decide to embark on becoming a business owner and an entrepreneur is, what is your why? You need to ask yourself, what is my overall mission, goal? Like, what is my why in a perfect world? If everything went exactly how I wanted it, what is my why? So my why 10 years ago, thank you, Misfit Angel. What is your why? So 10 years ago, when I opened my business, my why was to be able to, you know, teach seminars, travel the world, you know, have my own personal training studio, be able to do it full time and scale it to a point where, you know, I could eventually, and that's my plan, to go live in Greece in a little island and have a training center. And, you know, I have a whole, that was, you know, that is my long-term vision. Now, I'm about another maybe 5 to 10 years away from that. Here's the difference between me and most people. I have the patience and I know the understanding of what it is to build a business, and I'm in it for the long term. I'm not in it for the short term. So when I tell you, even from today, I have set my 5-year and my 10-year goal, and that is to go, and I'm making it here accountable to all of you, to move to Greece and have my online business and be able to travel and teach seminars and be able to have my training camp in Greece. That is my real why. So you need to, you know, it's not enough to just say, oh, I want to make money or I want to be successful. And if you've noticed, none of it really has to do about, you know, having the big house or having the big car. And it's not about the financial that I'm going to gain, but what type of lifestyle do I want from myself based on the values based on what values are the highest for me. The other thing is, what is your mission, your goal, your purpose, your real objective of why you're doing this? Is it for money? If it's for money, hey, that might work for you. It didn't work for me. It's not what I didn't do this for money, because there's no money, right? In the beginning, you're not making money. So if you're doing it for the money, chances you're going to quit. I love to help people. I love to train. I love to see people get results. I love teaching, you know, kids how to defend themselves, women, adults. I love empowering them, coaching them. That interaction, that one-on-one that I get from helping people and seeing them better themselves. And one of the reasons why is because I had a pretty hard life myself growing up, a very hard life. And I didn't have much mentoring or guidance. So today, I'm able to give that and share that to other people and help them build their dreams, or, you know, get to their highest potential, or be the best version of themselves, and get to a point where they could be fulfilled and content with their life, with what they're doing. So I wake up every morning and I'm so grateful, whether it's Monday, Sunday, Saturday, weekend. And that's why, you know, I worked in the weekends. It was hard at moments, but when you love what you do, every day is just great. I don't wake up in the morning thinking, oh shit, I gotta go to work. And I've had that where you gotta wake up in the morning and you hate what you do. And every morning you wake up and you're like, fuck, do I wanna go wash toilets for, you know, $16, $17 an hour? Well, there's nothing wrong with that, but it just wasn't for me. And I was settling. So think about it, at 31 years old, almost 31, I decided to open my business. Right? 31 or 32. My son was 1 year old. So imagine, I'm the only one working. I have all the finances on my shoulders. I'm living paycheck to paycheck. And then I decide I want to open a business because I was fed up. I was depressed of doing what I do. It made me sick and ill. And I needed to change my life. I needed to find, and I knew my passion. The question was, how do I turn it into a career? So you need to find your goal, your mission, your purpose, right? Then another thing is you gotta see is, who is, what kind of, I asked myself when I started, before I even, this is all brainstorming. You see, what guys don't understand, the work happens not when you're building it. The work happens through the brainstorm. The execution is the easy part. Putting it all in your head, putting it all on paper, designing the plan is where all the work goes. If you have a good solid plan, more or less knowing it's gonna move and flex and stretch and change, but more or less you need some kind of direction before you take off. And it takes months sometimes of brainstorming it, right? But you also don't want to sit there and procrastinate, and eventually put your plan and put it all together. So I had to ask myself, well, what kind of clients do I want to train, right? Is there, did I want to put a niche together? Did I want to become just a fitness guy or a self-defense guy? Self-defense for kids, for women, for adults? What kind of strength training coach? As you can see, all my diplomas are back there. What a lot of you guys don't know, I'm also a strength training coach, and I train a celebrity like Sugar Sammy. I've trained Master Chef, and I've trained Pantelis, and I've trained just various, different levels of clients. But I had to ask people don't know I'm also a strength training coach, and I did that because I wanted to stack as much in my favor, right? So to be honest with you guys, I didn't go with a specific niche. I went straight with the self-defense, but I realized that it was a tougher business to make money with, and more people were concerned on getting in shape. So I built my personal home training business, which, I started off, I'm going to talk about something later. I started with my personal training business, and then I continued my passion, which was self-defense, right? And then I merged them together, right? So you got to ask yourself, what kind of clients do you want to train? What's your ideal client? Why do you want to train them? Again, you might tell yourself, I don't like training kids, or I like training women more than I like training men, and that's fine, right? But you need to kind of know that. So, there's nothing wrong with you saying, or you might like training security. I love training security guys because I did security. I enjoy training police because, there's a certain level of, they're already trained to a certain level. So there's, it's a little bit more advanced, so challenging for me. So again, build a little bit of the type of clients you want to have or attract, because that also depends on the marketing that you're going to have to use based on the clients that you want, as well as money. So in terms of money, I told myself this, is how much money do I need to have the ideal life? How much money do I need to make to live the life for me? Reality, guys, I grew up in Park X, right? I didn't grow up rich. My parents didn't have money. I was working at the age of 13, and at 16, I was out of high school. I had to drop out of school and go work full time. And I didn't have, people backing me up and saying, oh, honey, you could do it. I'm there for you. I was kind of on my own since I was a kid, right? So I also realized that I didn't need a lot of money. If I was making $30,000 a year, and obviously today I'm making, I am making, a lot more than that. I don't want to say numbers, but I own a beautiful apartment building. I just bought a brand new Jeep. I go to Greece every year for like 6 weeks. My son has, the latest video games or what he wants, and I have my personal training studio, and I got to a point where I love, where I had to talk about how much money do I need to create the lifestyle and be realistic, right? If $100,000, if you're making $30,000 today, and you could make $60,000 a year 3 years later, doing what you love, or 100,000 or 150, hey, you're up in the game. Don't be sold by all these guys trying to sell you this quick, easy, fast, and with me, you're gonna make millions of dollars. And this is all bullshit, guys. And that's something I don't wanna sell to this channel, right? Anybody who knows me, I'm not here to tell you guys you'll become a million overnight, but what I could tell you, that if you follow your dream and your purpose and you could make it into career, and if you can go from making $30,000 to $150,000, guess what? You're up in the game and you could have a decent life. So it's knowing how much money you want to make and why, and ask yourself, is it what I want, or is it what society or my parents or people around me want? Because we're very much influenced by what other people want. And a friend told me something that was interesting. He goes, the amazing thing about you, Nick, is you live under your own rules, right? I don't have to answer to anybody, meaning I'm not obliged to anyone. Whatever I've made, I've self-made. Whatever I made was with my own money from scratch. I built my business from scratch. And that's the challenging and hardest part to do. The next thing is you need a plan. So I talked a little bit about it. If you don't have a plan, you're just gonna be spinning your wheels, right? So what I did is I wrote down a full plan, right? I broke it down in complete detail, knowing that my plan does this, right, to the goal. And I did steps, knowing that everything is gonna shift. Things might go according to plan, others might not. Being flexible, being able to tweak as you go and modify, and you will fail. You're gonna get some things right, some things better than other, and some things you're gonna be knocking your head saying, why did I do that? But it's okay, right? The real strength and the real work comes in when you hit those roadblocks or when you're about to fail, is how fast can you get up and just readjust, right? And that's what entrepreneurship is. It's a constant readjustment. When COVID hit, a lot of trainers panicked. I sat down, I was like, holy shit. So I sat down and, I told my girlfriend, I said, I'm putting together a plan. I go, watch me. I'm gonna put a plan. In the next 2 weeks, I'll have 10 sessions booked online. And exactly that 10. Now I'm doing 80% of my sessions online. But I didn't sit there, oh my God, my business is broke. You gotta go with the times. You gotta sit down. I put a plan and I started hammering it out. And I was creative. I created a 30 minutes for $50 training, one-on-one. And I went with it, and guess what? It picked up. People love it. It's 30 minutes for $50 US. Whether you want to do self-defense or fitness, it's one-on-one with me. And that was my, just that little adjustment that I made, and that spin to it allowed me to get a lot of clients online, because they still got the chance to train with me one-on-one. So that helped me build my business. So whatever you do in your plan as well, just some more, you got to put a 2-year, I put a 2-year, 5 years, 7-year, 10-year plan, more or less, when I started my plan 10 years ago, right? And everything I wrote in my objectives, I got everything, and I actually sold myself short. So now what I did from here to now, I'm gonna be 44, all the way to about 55, my plan is detailed, and I'm aiming so high, and I've set the standards so high for myself because I believe in myself and have the confidence more than before, because guess what? I've done it. So the more you do it, the better you get at it, the more confidence you build, and then you just keep pushing. And then you kind of become fearless with your imagination and your goals and what you want to achieve, because you're like, I'm gonna do it. I always look at my goals like it's a matter of time. It's a matter of time until I get it, but I've already gotten it. So that's my goal. So that's a little bit of, some questions you need to ask yourself before you build the business, right? I'm gonna give you guys a couple of stuff. So when you build your business, one of the most important things I realized is your branding. Sorry guys, I'm getting some messages. So one of the most important thing is your branding, right? Your branding has to speak what you do. Meaning, who are you attracting? What do you want your message to be? Does your brand and your message go together? And I've rebranded a few times, and actually rebranding again. Pretty much, I think, for the last time, because I was a little bit lost with where I wanted to go with my self-defense. And after my recent seminar and my instructor course, I kind of know exactly where I want to go. And starting to branch out and brand more to, I'm starting to do my instructor course, so I'm starting to train more trainers. So I'm training more trainers, more instructors who want to be certified by me. So a lot right now is going into that right now as we speak, and I'm restructuring my branding, right? So branding is very important. The second tip that I'm going to give you, the most important one, is keep your overhead low. Right? I see too many people who want to go big, too fast, right? I started, like I said, with my shitbox car and my duffel bag, right? I didn't go open the big gym and put this big overhead, what I call a noose, where I haven't even opened my business, and I've already capped my overhead to the point where I can't sustain going through the rough times. So I started with personal home training. I started training people in parks, communities, renting spaces if I got groups. I didn't go and rent a big space and prison myself to having to come up with $2,000, $3,000 or $5,000 per month of fixed expenses. I didn't have any expenses at the beginning. I didn't. So I started with training people at home because it didn't cost me anything that I needed, my gas and my car, which was paid because it was a shitbox, right? So keep your expenses low. Later on, I turned my apartment building, this floor, into a studio, and I started offering sessions over here. Then I expanded to teaching seminars across the world. I've been in Europe, New York, Vienna. Like, I started teaching seminars around. Then I built my online business, my website. Like, there's a scale, that there's a system that you're supposed to follow. If you try to go too big, too fast, you're gonna crash. If you're gonna try to jump from nobody knowing who you are to spending $500,000 to open a gym, you're gonna crash. Last year, I had the opportunity to open a gym, right? It was all done. We had found the location, the business partners, everything was done, the business plan. And then when we started breaking down the numbers, I was like, holy shit, I'm gonna be, basically working for free for a very long time before I see my money back. Whereas now I'm making money, and chances are I'm not gonna make that much more, right? So I looked at that as well. Did owning a gym answer my why? No, it didn't. So again, I always go back to that why. So I decided to drop it. And thank God we did, because we'd be opening in March, April, when COVID hit, and we'd probably be going bankrupt already. So I got really lucky with that, but I always listen to my intuition as well. So keep your overhead low. Now, another thing I'm going to talk about, the good thing about social media, right? Today with social media, marketing is free, guys. Put yourself out there. You need to build a relationship and trust. People reach out to me because they trust me. Why? Because I've been 10 years posting videos. Every day I post a video on each social network, right? Every day. Sometimes they're older ones, sometimes they're newer ones, but every day I'm trying to post a video and always promoting myself and what I do, so people always see me, right? So, you have that great tool that you can use to promote yourself. Again, everybody's calling me. The other thing is collaborate, right? Go out there, get your name out there through collaborations. Collaborate with other YouTubers, collaborate with other trainers, but make sure that when you collaborate with people who share the same values. Don't do it for money, or don't do it because He's got a lot of followers. If he has a lot of followers, but he's just not promoting what you would promote and the same standard that you would give, then stay away from him, right? So I'm very picky with the people I collaborate. If I look at their accounts, I look at who they are, and if they don't follow a certain standard, then I just away from them. So I'm going to be building a brand new website, right? So this is actually my third website in 2 years, actually in 3 years next year, fourth, right? And I'm always restructuring, I'm always rebuilding, I'm always trying to make things better. My site right now is doing better than ever. I'm getting more members, more people to train with me one-on-one, more people signing up to my instructor course, to my membership, buying my courses. But I see there's a few, I always want to make it better, not for me, but for my, the people who are in the membership, the people who are buying my courses in my program, right? So I'm always making it better, right? So, the other thing I talked about that I'm going to talk about is that every 2 years, I'm rebuilding, I'm restructuring, right? I'm always putting in, right now, I'm getting my salary and all the rest of my money. Can you hear me? I could see you, Jonathan, but I can't hear you. But I'm putting all my money back into my business. And the reason why, because I want to give you guys a better product every time, right? Every time I want to make a better product and give something better to my viewers, my listeners, the people following me, because I owe that to them, okay? So, as well as stay, when you write your plan, and I'm kind of breaking it down in different phases, because in each one, I could talk about an hour about each one, right? And then probably the last thing is, before last, is stay the course. I did an interview with Yost from Level Up, and he goes up to me, I almost quit 2 or 3 times, and he kept going. And today, he's got his Instagram, his TikTok, his YouTube channel is blowing up. He's teaching at a gym. He expanded his gym, but if he failed, he'd be back at his regular job. And because he stuck to it, he cut his hours in half. But because he stuck to it, he was able to grow his business, and he's growing his business more and more. And now he's like, I could see the smile when I did with him the podcast, and he was so happy and proud of himself because he stuck to it, right? You got to stuck to it. But again, it's, don't look at it as failing. I never see anything as failing. I always see it as, I did it a way that didn't work. That to me is failing. That's the way. I don't use the word fail. I did it that way, it didn't work. Let me try it another way. That's the way you need to see it when you're an entrepreneur, right? And listen to people who know, listen to people who are in the business, guys like me. And the last note is, don't listen to all these quick scammers trying to sell you the quick dollar, open your business and I'm going to help you become a millionaire. And just, guys, maybe it exists, but maybe a small percentage. Yeah, there's a few YouTubers out there who, come from money, have money. Give me $1 million. Yeah, if I put $500,000 in ads, guess what? I'm probably going to make a lot of sales, right? But the reality of most of you watching this video, you're probably like either broke, living paycheck to paycheck, or have a little money aside, unless you have a lot of money already, but you're in one of those. And I was in the, I wasn't broke, I had money, but I didn't have money that I could just dump and risk out to lose. So I had to be very careful with every penny that I invested. And unfortunately, the YouTube, right, is full of these coaches telling you, I could teach you how to become a millionaire. Hey, don't stop. Do you want me to tell you how I bought this car? And guys, I'm here to share with you my real true story. And like I said, I went from making $30,000 a year to, yes, making 6 digits, right? And I love what I do. And at the end, it's not about the money, it's kind of bullshit. It is about the money. But before about the money is I love what I do, and making enough money to be able to sustain the life that I want and I need to be happy for me and my family and the people that I love, right? Can I make more money? Absolutely. Am I trying to make more money? Of course. But I'm at a place where I'm good, right? You know, if I make an extra, you know, if I can make an extra, you know, $30,000 to $50,000 a year, man, that's great, right? But I'm also not desperate, and I'm not here for it. And that's the tough part. When you're like, you know, when you feel like you're strangled and you have the pressure to produce and make money as fast as possible because you got to pay your child support or you got to pay your mortgage or live paycheck to paycheck. Am I a millionaire? No, Jonathan, I'm not a millionaire, you know. And if I become a millionaire, great. If I become a millionaire, I have more to help people. That's the way I see it. But with right now, when I look at where I came from and where I am today, I'm in the plus, man. I'm so in the plus. I never thought I'd be driving a brand new Jeep, and you know, and I've had my ups and downs, and I've shared them with everybody here. You know, I got divorced and I lost money, and I had to sleep on this gym, and it was part of my journey, right? But all that to me today just made me stronger, made me more resilient, and gave me the strength that I need to take on anything. So I'm fearless in that sense, right? And we are made, you know, through our challenges, made more by how we every time you get hit, you get up. It's like funny, you get hit, you get up, you get hit, you get up. But every time you get hit and you get up faster, it just becomes easier. No different than fighting in the ring, fighting in the street. You know, everything to me is a fight to a certain degree. And at the end, it's how much fight and how much you're gonna give before you quit, right? To me, quitting is never an option. I never quit. I might give up on the dream, but that's because I get to a point where I'm like, you know what? I thought I wanted this. I don't really want it, but I didn't quit because circumstances made me quit, or fear, or judgment of others. It's because my dream or my goal changed. But I never allowed anybody to tell me, Nick, you can't do it. Nick, you're not good enough. I don't believe in you. And a lot of people have told me that. You know, I used to work at the hospital. People told me, why are you not quit the hospital? You make $30,000 a year. You have a secure job. You work for the government. I'm making $16 an hour. That's, for them, they settled for that. For me, I call it like, I looked at it as every day waking up and doing a slice on my arm because it was torture for me. I couldn't swallow that this was going to be the rest of my life. And for some people, that's okay. If you're good with it, that's fine. I can't judge, and nobody should be judging you for your decisions or telling you you should be making more money, you shouldn't want more for yourself. If you're happy, who am I or anybody to tell you? But however, when there's resistance within yourself, that's when the challenge comes in. When you're resisting yourself and you're telling yourself, I'm not living the way I should be and I want to be living, then there's a problem. Then you need to take control of your life and make a difference. So, and again, just to finish it off, guys, don't listen to these scammers. Don't listen to these guys who are promising you, telling you could become rich. You know, don't believe in all these quick schemes. Don't be fooled by the guys driving their Lamborghini and Ferrari and showing it to you. You know what I mean? I checked up on a lot of these guys, and some of these guys are scammers. Some of these guys didn't make their money through what they're selling you or legit ways. And other people just, I know people who are millionaires who are born in money. So yeah, give me $10 million and let me start my program. Chances are it's going to be a lot more different than most people like me and you, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. But the most challenging part is to be able to start from scratch a business like I'm doing, and chances are like you're going to do. That is the hard and challenging part. So guys, I'm getting all kinds of calls right now. So many questions, I don't even know where to start. So guys, I'm gonna ask you right now, leave your comments, leave me comments in the question box, and I'm gonna answer. Nick, you wonder how much Bob Dummy, is it worth it? Bob Dummy is very worth it. It's $500, I love it. I found your channel about 2 years, I saved my life. Most seem to want to threaten me. I mean, every day commute advice. Man, it's pretty crazy what's happening, Nick. I can hear. Best site ever. Thank you, Angel. American I've seen, no matter how much. Absolutely. You know what I mean? I always compare, guys. You know, I say it openly. You know, I never finished high school. I had to learn. You know, there's a great quote I heard is, In school, you learn the lesson, and then you're tested. In life, you're tested, and then you learn the lesson. I'm one of these guys, right? At 13, I was already working. At 16, I had to go to the workforce, and I had to learn about business through working like at McDonald's and learning how to suggest sale and why. And I mean, I had enough experience that I learned more about business, that when I sit down, and I've sat down with people in business and marketing, and they're blown away with what I know. They're like, what have you studied? How do you know this? In today's society, business is very different than what you're going to learn in school or what it was, 20 years ago. Business right now is this to a certain degree, and being able to do this. Now I've been talking for 35 minutes, right? Nobody's talking to me, but to me, I kind of look at this as practice, because one day I want to, and I'm already doing more and more talks, but eventually I want to be a motivational speaker, and I want to share. I'm giving you guys just a little bit of my story, but all of my story to help inspire young men, young women to, create the best life that they can for themselves, their loved ones. And, when you're happy and you're good, you can give to others. When I, make more money, I'm always giving forward and giving to those and being the best and trying to help others, because there's only so much I could take in. So guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Leave me a comment in the box. Make sure to like, to share, to hit the bell. I want to thank you guys for watching. Stay safe and stand strong.